the seasons lasting only 6 weeks in Once Human, information and knowledge will be the key to your success. After playing for over 300 hours, here are over 50 useful tips and tricks that I would like to share with you for any of the future seasons to come. If you find yourself a nice spot gathering and you want to continue harvesting all of the metal in the area, but you find that your weight is just over capacity and slowing you down way too much, it's a nice bonus if you make yourself a four-wheel car. Not only for driving, but in the back, you've got 12 slots there you can actually fill up with any materials. I'm back down to 83 now, so I can now move at normal speed and carry on harvesting. Then when you're done, I'll go over to here, pretend I'm back at my base. It's on cooldown at the moment. Press G to summon the car again. Then you can access the stuff back into your inventory when you're at your base. If you've made 2 styles of car, then why not load both of them up and not have to worry about any weight limits whilst you're gathering all of your ores, because you can resummon them back and take everything back into your inventory, and jobs are good then. When building anything with electricity, for example these generators here, I've got 6, you press B and then you attach the wires. Now you don't have to attach the wires all individually up to your power switch. You can daisy chain the electric wires together and then just have one wire connecting all 6 generators to your power switch. If you're not happy with the location, you can move the items again and not have to worry about replacing the wire as well, because they will stay attached. When it comes to defense with your electrics, what I do is I have 2 separate power switches. Then I have one connected to all my turrets and my defenses, and the other one for the general use, like your water pumps, your oil refineries, your furnaces, etc. Then when it comes to defense time, you can switch one off and enable your turrets, and afterwards remember to switch back. This way you're not having your turrets just shooting all the time, and also saves a little bit of electric that you might want to use for something else. When it comes to your deviations, if any of them are requesting electric, here I've got music, toy, electricity, requiring a power of 10. You don't actually have to wire them up. Just like in real life, if you want them to work harder, you just refill and use up their mood, making them more miserable, but then they work harder and you don't have to pay them any extra. In my opinion, here are some of the most useful deviations you can get hold of. Starting off with the little lowly frog, because then you can craft yourself spring legs. Super useful for trying to get up to an awkward chest or to get away from any monsters. And this is pretty much a must have as well, especially when you're doing the pro dungeons and the bosses. Later on is the harvest seed, because with this material then you can then craft yourself living armor. And what this will do is, in the event that your HP drops below 20%, you'll recover 100% of your HP within 5 seconds. A big lifesaver it's been to me on many occasions. Also the dream catcher, because then you can get the threaded dreams. When rolling, you will leave a spiderweb on the ground and chain any enemy that approaches. I'll just briefly show you that in action. Really useful even if there's packs of mobs around you, because when they're webbed they can't actually attack you. It's saved my arse tons of times. The other benefit of the spring legs is you can actually jump high enough to actually glide a little bit, making getting around a lot quicker. And the final one is with the all-purpose hand, you can instantly repair the equipped gear with the lowest durability. Now, the majority of the time, as it seems to have been nerfed, the durability on your weapon tends to be the one that goes down first. Now at endgame, when you've got your top tier weapons, to repair them you need these platinum crystals, tungsten and other materials. And now if you're getting a bit low on the platinum crystal, or you're out in the field crafting the all-purpose hand, you just need the item that it gives you anyway, some acid, some stardust, but also you have a choice of what type of crystal you want to actually use, whether that be the beryllium, the vanadium, I'll probably pronounce that and butchered that badly, iridium, or the platinum. Spreading around and saving some of your precious resources that you might need later on. Each of your deviants, when you place them, like different coloured lights or music. With the lighting, to save keep farting around and changing it from red, green, blue, what I found was you can chuck all 3 colours overlapping and it still works and gives them the bonus to whatever type of light they actually prefer. And of course with all these pretty lights now, I will not be cancelled by sweet baby ink because it's nice and beautiful. After you've collected yourself a load of water and you want to put it into your tank, save right clicking and doing each one individual, you can just press G to deposit the lot and then take back your purified water as one you want to keep. When it comes to certain memetic specializations, I was making a big mistake for quite a long time. I'll show you here on the left hand side there. Open this up. Now I've got a couple of bonuses here for the disassembly bench. A plus 50% yield for metal scrap and 30% yield for fabrics and plastics. Now that won't come into effect until you demolish your old assembly bench, or disassembly bench, sorry, and place down a new one. If you can see the little yellow arrows on the top there. Sorry, I'm pointing. That's a bit stupid, isn't it? You can see the little yellow arrows just at the top here. That shows that they've got bonuses when you place them down. The top right hand corner, you'll know you're getting the bonuses because you'll have the little icons showing you what bonuses you're getting. What you can also do, same as with your water, save wasting your time organising all of your materials. Just put a couple of storage crates next to your disassembler, open them up, and then just press G to deposit all. And to the next one, G to deposit all again. And after you set up all these couple of chests, you can just go to your disassembly bench, select all, disassemble the lot, and then instead of individually going through and right clicking, checking that it will stack, just press H to merge the items. And what doesn't go in, go to your next bench and merge into there. And you're done. Then you can carry on exploring and questing. If like me, when you first started playing it, you probably discovered and unlocked different types of bullet that you can craft. But all these do waste a ton of extra materials that, like your Stardust source that you'll need later on. So any of this AP ammo that you come across, especially early game with your copper rifle AP ammo, it's not really worth wasting any of your Stardust source on it. For 95% of the content in the game, just go with your standard copper, and then as soon as you unlock it, steal for the rest of the game. And then save any of your special ammo for hard bosses or dungeons that you might fancy doing in pro mode with your friends. They are a bit more of a challenge and you might want the extra firepower. If your build ends up looking a bit messy, with all the wires and the cables dangling all over the place, press B for build mode, and then you press L. You can toggle the wires and the water cables on and off. When it comes to building, sometimes you might find it a bit awkward to get up to higher spots, but there is an actual feature if you go into build mode, and all you have to press is the little tilde key, or the @ symbol, on an English keyboard that is. Sorry, I don't know what it is on the other ones, I've just known it also as the tilde key. And then this helps you go into fly mode. And then just press spacebar to go up, and C to go back down again. Just press B to come back out, fly mode again, press your right click, go to structures. It's way easier to carry on building your mad design house like this. Chuck another beam on top, make it look nice. There we go. As you can see in here, I put my purifier to start with. I'd like to see the creatures actually try and get to it. Good luck. It confused the shit out of them. Now you may or may not be aware that you can save the blueprint of your property and then replace it down for future seasons. Go into your highest blueprints, and here are some that I've made previously. But what you can also do, go and nick my mate's build here, add blueprint, save all, friends, base. That's blueprint successfully saved. There you go. I can take that into future seasons and rebuild that. Of course, you need all of the materials for it. Then you've got your overview, click materials, and that shows you what you need to collect to be able to finish the build entirely. If you haven't got all these materials, what it will do is build it for you in just the base wood and an outline to start with. If you're not happy with the area that you've chosen for your base at any point, you don't have to demolish it all and then restart again from scratch. I won't actually move my base because I'm happy where it is, but if you just press B and then Z, I'll press the tilde key so that I can go into fly mode, and you can rotate, alt and mouse wheel to adjust the height. When you find another place you can place it down that's green, you can do it all in one go. When it comes to food in this game, I still reckon that the best ones you can go for are any of the canned lunch meat or canned meats, and of course the good old malt ale, where you just need wheat and purified water, and then you can craft your beer in the brewing barrel. The reason I like these two so much is any of the other foods tend to spoil over time, some of them 24 hours and others only 4 hours. Now you can put the materials in the fridge, but a neat little trick, cook them just one at a time and then leave them on your stove for when you want them to go out exploring. I made these several weeks ago, and as you can see, until I pick them up, they won't start decaying. Even if you've got to make yourself an extra stove, it's going to be a much more economical way, save keep gathering all of the ingredients to make the items or having them rot in your fridge. Just as a side note, if you put in too many meat or fish, the food even ends up decaying before it ends up being preserved with the salting process. As food perishes quite quickly in your backpack over time, you might end up with a load of spoiled food. Now, instead of just chucking all this away, especially early game, save it for later on. And then when you start your farming, get your compost bin and you can convert that to fertilizer. And why this helps you out is with the fertilizer, one that I think is great is the fertilizer for a mutation boost. Even better, if you want to build up your farming crops, is the breeding boost, because it increases your crop fertility and increasing the amount of seeds you get back, and building up your stocks of seeds so you can have a larger and larger farm. When it comes to lighting and you want to use your grow lights for your crops, you place them down like this and then there's not much distance between the floor and the grow lamp, you'll probably need several of them to cover all of your crops. If you just do a couple of beams, then some ceiling, put the grow lamp about there, and with just that one light, it covers a much larger area the further up you place it. Don't forget to toggle, and then press F to put your target light into whereabouts you want it, depending on which crops you want to grow. Go into it and go your details. Show you there is the green bar that you want to aim for. Irrigation 50 to 90 and lighting 70 to 100. There's some very useful options you can toggle on and off to make your life a little bit easier. Normally you've got to hold down the shift key to sprint. But if you go into settings, control keyboard and mouse, sprint, you can keep it on hold or just press. Then you can toggle for the sprint to be on or off. Save keep holding it whilst you're traveling and exploring the map. And also some very useful settings about screen shake intensity. If you don't want that on, you can slide that down to 0. But also in combat, if you use pistols or shotguns, instead of having to spam click all the time, which this will be the default, if you click it to on, then your pistols will become automatic when you just hold down the button. Job's a good one. You can also adjust the camera height and the camera distance if you're struggling with performance a little bit, or what I like to do is have it all the way at 100, so you're not kind of in the first person view and you can see more of your character. Now you've probably seen plenty of these little shacks kicking around all over the place. Before going into anywhere where you're likely to die or much harder content, these actually act as another place where you can actually respawn in the option when you die. I'll just jump into this lava to kill myself to show you. Hopefully that deserves a like on the video. Right, give up. And there we go, we can respawn at the territory, at the nearest town, or at my campsite that I placed down. Quicker way of getting back into the action, and of course go into the little red flower to get your gear back. When you're just starting out on any season or you're new to the game, your ciphers, you might not have many of them to be able to unlock much right at the beginning. But what you can do with your gear workbench, intermediate, anything you place down build wise, once you have placed down your benches, you can just refund the points because they won't disappear or anything after you've refunded the ciphers. Then you can use those points to unlock anything else you place down, or maybe upgrading your stove and then getting back the points again to something else, until you've built up enough ciphers that you get from questing and general gameplay as you progress through the game. This same trick with using the ciphers and the points. In the memetics in the ammo section, you can unlock the rocket launchers and refund the points, and the blueprint is still be unlocked if you wish to craft that weapon. Just like in Star Trek, never underestimate the power of Q, because as you know, if you press Q, it will highlight and show you where the chests are, but also highlight any other loots. So if you end up with a batch of them being shown, and then you just press F, you can loot tons of them in one go. Save you run into each individual one, like you have to do with drops from anything you've killed. If you see a little yellow flashing light on your backpack and a beeping sound, this is another time where you can press Q. If I can find it before I die from the bloody temperature bug again, that keeps happening in game, you'll find the Morphic crates. The Planula, I'll say that correctly one day. Your quests are always useful to do. This will mainly be for this stuff, the Planula, because with it, in each town you'll have this severing guy. And with the Planula stuff, I've got 163 here. You can buy accessories for your gun, but also each season per 100 you can get these Starchrom crates. I'll buy all of those, and in each of these you get 500 Starchrom, so that's 3,500 Starchrom just for doing your quests throughout the season. If you've got any surplus ones, you can always buy more controllers, or if you need any armor or weapon mod parts. Whilst you're leveling up, before you do any of the hard silos or pro mode stuff, then there's not really much point in using up any of your controllers when you get your treasure chest at the end or after defeating a boss. Now I've used a controller there. If I hadn't used a controller, you still get the Stardust source and the energy link. You just don't generally get the other stuff that goes with it. But your controllers are far more valuable on the end game once you've hit level 50, hard mode or pro mode dungeons. In each of the towns you'll come across an NPC with like a little document over its head. Of course this is where you can pick up your commissions. But to save going into town all the time and travelling around, there's no need, because all you have to do is summon your bird. Then you can interact with it, do the commissions. Then if there's any you're not fancy doing, participate in defeating the Fire Chaos Weaver. Well, that'll take about 5 billion bullets. What you can do is remaining free refreshers of current commission board. You can re-roll it until there's something easier that you fancy. Craft 260 pistol ammo. There we go. Then all those 5 are nice and simple to do. And then when you're done, you can also hand in at the bird. Every week in each of the towns, you've got a limit that you can sell up to 50,000 credits. And one of the best things to sell is gold or silver, because they are 12,000 each. You can sell 4 and get 48k. I'll show you how to make this gold later on, smelt it down. Save you time if you want to sell smaller items. Instead of just clicking them and selecting how many you want to, if you want to get rid of all of them, just press S and then it goes to select mode. And you can highlight them, excuse my throat, and select the lot. Of course I can't select the gold there because it'd be well over my limit. I'll just sell the 4 and I go to the next town and repeat and do all the towns, and then in a couple of more days, 2 days, 12 hours for me personally, I can then go and do the same thing again. The maps tend to be pretty large in Once Human. This one doesn't seem as large as the one previous season, but a few little things you can do to help share with your friends and get around. You can right click, put a pin down, and if you shift and then press L, you can share the coordinates in your chat with the rest of your group or the hive that you're in, or change it to world, and then you can just share the coordinates to the world if you want to meet up in a certain area. This area here, Fire Throw East, is my go-to place for gold. Now it might be completely different next season, but what you can do is when you find your little spawn points of where you found it, you can just middle click your mouse button, and then you've got a series of different symbols that you can use that will permanently be there to help you find your resources again when you want to in the future, of that season that is. So just quickly go onto the bike, have a quick zerg up here, and then see if you can find any gold around about where my symbols are. There's none that time, but of course, ideal scenario here, you can just change worlds and do the same thing again. I don't know why I was a chaos weaver around, so I'll probably burn up and die before I get the gold. I do love this season's mechanics. They're really great and super fun. Also, if you'd like to smelt gold and make a lot of money, gold or silver, at the towns, the one you're looking for is a precious metal refinery. You take that specialization, then you can smelt your gold and your silver ores and get loads of energy links. Generally speaking, after a week or two of any of the seasons, each of the towns become an absolute graveyard for vehicles. These aren't for scrap, but all of them will have vendors and people wanting to sell stuff, and you can pretty much get anything you want as long as you've got enough energy credits to purchase them, or the correct item to trade, because you can do the item exchanges or the energy link. If you find there's not many vending trucks or they haven't got what you want, all you have to do is go to the teleporter, switch worlds, and it will be a completely new set of trucks and vending machines for you to choose from. Now you may not want to keep going to the different towns and checking out all the trucks individually like this. So what you can also do is open up your map, and here you've got different views. You've got standard view, thermal towers for this season, wherever people have placed them, and also vending machines. If you toggle that to show the vending machines, the yellow ones are the same world you're on, and if you hover over any of the others, it will show you which world that one's on and a little tag of what kind of stuff they're selling. Most of them it just says tools. There you've got consumables and planting, materials, food. Then you can go to that area, switch the worlds and see what they've got on offer of anything you might be short of. When it comes to modifications on your armor and weapons, and enhancing the mods is quite expensive on energy and also resources. And the resources I'm on about are the armor mod parts. You get these from the weapon crates or the armor crates, depending on which one you're enhancing. As you can see, I've got 310 armor mods, so I've got just enough to get this from 4 to 5. But I would advise saving these armor mod parts until you've definitely got the mod that you want with good stats before actually enhancing them. You can get more armor mods or weapon mods by breaking down any of the mods you've actually picked up. Weapon mod parts there, 30, and get rid of any of the ones that you don't think you're going to be using. And that's weapon mod parts, but then armor mod parts are the blue ones. They're the two different types you see, and you can disassemble and get those items. But make sure not to get rid of any ones that might be useful to you on different builds later on. I know I've forgotten in the past, and I'm sure others have as well. Make sure when it comes to your weapons that you actually make sure that it's modded and with a full amount of accessories, because these can make a big difference in how your gun actually handles. And this is also where you can swap over what ammo type you wish to use. So what I would do if I was going to just about to fight the boss, I'd swap out my ammo steel to the tungsten LMG to give myself more damage per shot. Also on the accessories down here, if you click view all, there's all the ones that you can use on that particular weapon. And if you hover over them, it would actually show you where you can actually go and get them from. And then you can Google or use the interactive map to go and collect the ones that suit you and your playstyle best, depending on the weapon of your choice. Also with the maps and getting around, if you just Google your Once Human interactive map, And there we go, first one up there, Map Genie, that'll do. Narcot, and here it lists all your materials. You can hide all and then select, say, accessories or recipes, and it'll show you where they are. The bottom one was the previous map, and now we're up here. Before you transfer over to any new season, best advice I can give you, which will save you a ton of time, is to craft yourself a new electric drill and logging chainsaw. Transfer that over and it'll save you a ton of time in harvesting all the metals. And always remember, it's a waste of time repairing your weapons when they're at like 80-90% durability, and the same with the armor. Wait until it's down to about a quarter or completely broke, because it will use the same amount of resources. This will save you a lot of time in having to go search through all the bins, all the weapons crate and gear crates to find more of this platinum crystal. When it comes to repairing your tier 5 armor, the main bottleneck and problem you'll have resource wise is going to be your platinum crystals. Now the best places to get this platinum crystal are any bins or trash, weapons crates or gear crates. Is the best way of finding this resource for your repairs. When it comes to refueling any of your vehicles, it's actually more efficient to use the standard portable mixed fuel than the barrel premium. Just put the slider, fill it all the way up. Now with any of your vehicles, they do take damage obviously when you go into stuff or just jump off cliffs like I do. But when it comes to repairing them, just like your armor, it will use the same amount of resources, whether it's 50% durability or completely busted. I'll pretty much wait until they're broken before repairing them. The best couple of deviants I find for materials are the H37. Show what this one gives you now. We've got iridium crystals, load of gunpowder, metal, engineering plastic, adhesive special part, and a load of rubber, and of course the paper dolls, because they give you a load of odd stuff that you can then break down in your disassembly bench and give you a load of extra rubber, adhesive, shabby fabric, and engineering plastics, etc. When it comes to calibrating your weapons and armor, if you end up picking up any drops, like some cool sniper rifles that you think might be good, don't waste your time in boosting these with any form of calibration for your weapons and armor. Reason being, if you do calibrate these, like I have there, I'll calibrate all the way to 4, and then when it ends up breaking and you need to repair it, because it's an item you haven't crafted, you can't actually repair it. So all of your materials that you've wasted in calibrating that are just lost forever. So make sure you only calibrate what you've actually crafted yourself. Every week you can use your Purifier to get up to 4K Starchrom. Make sure you don't place it just anywhere in your base, as the monsters might destroy some of your buildings or functional facilities to actually get to it. As we're in a hive, what my friend done was had the bright idea of sticking it so that both my turrets and his can overlap and protect the Purifier as much as possible, making it really easy to defend. Being in a hive and with friends is not only nice for the social aspect of the game, but also a nice benefit is they could have bases all over the map, and then you can have a free teleport to any of their bases as well as your own. Because if I was to teleport from this side of the map all the way to the other, it's 830 credits, and that might be further away than one of their bases are from where I want to go to. Public events are a nice way of getting extra resources. You can open up your map and have a look down the bottom left and see if there's any about. Paradise Lost. Click there. I received a mysterious radio signal in that place. After many attempts we have finally found the location, but none. Let's go and see what all this is about. If you haven't done so already, or some of you might be wondering about the Calibrate on your weapons. And here you can actually replace your attributes. At the moment on the LMG, I've got stability, elemental and elemental damage. Now you can swap that out if you've got another calibration for slotting in. I haven't got one for this weapon because they have to be actually in your inventory, and this is what they look like. Just pick up a few of those and show you how it works. I'll go calibrate, I'll go to the pistol there. At the moment I've got elemental, weak spot damage and portable star mobility movement speed, and I could swap that out to get rapid shot style, crit rate and another crit rate. It just costs you some stardust to change it over, and that's the new stats that you will get. And if you're wondering where to get these from, at your disassembly bench, click on your weapons. Any of these ones that have got a green mark next to them saying dropped gear means you will get a calibration from it. Any that don't, and you'll just get normal items. So if I highlight this one, you'll see that just breaks down to some wood. Same again, just some metal and adhesive. If I highlight this one, and that is the calibration blueprint that you'll get. And then you can store them, and then when you get a weapon of your choice or a calibration you really like to use, you can come over and replace it. Calibrating is definitely a great way of enhancing your weapon and changing it to the playstyle that you wish. What you really want to go for is any of these calibrations that are actually that gold or orangey type, same colour as your weapons here. They will tend to be the better calibrations, and you will get better stats when you place them on your weapon. In my opinion, the best all-round deviant to use for solo and most of the dungeons you go into, which is the Festering gel that will heal you. Now, a couple of little tricks to use in this and to save wasting a lot of its energy. If you press E and just hold it, it will heal you. Right click to drop it. Now if you double press E, auto pick it up back into the cradle. A combat one, the samurai guy, what I find a lot of people do is waste all of its energy. I've just got the one mob here. I'll just press E and shoot once to quickly summon it. Right, the mob's dead. Double press E, that brings it straight back to the cradle. And as you can see, just a few more seconds and I'm able to summon it again. Double E to replace it in case you've summoned it accidentally. Great way of conserving ammo and saving acid and gunpowder is using the crossbow and melee weapons, especially early game. I've just crafted this crappy crossbow to show you. Just chuck some arrows into him. Now when it comes to the melee weapon, save actually changing over, if you press the V key, it will automatically use your melee weapon equipped, enabling you to switch between your melee and your ranged a lot faster. Then when it's dead, you just run over to it and it automatically picks your arrows back up again, making the ammo a lot more efficient, especially if you're just farming some lower level mobs or just starting out in the game. There's two ways in which you can use the wish machine. You can either gamble away, or if you go to the blueprint shop by pressing G, purchase something specific if there's a particular gun or armor piece that you'd like to get. What this is also good at is seeing all the different stats and bonuses you can get with these pieces before deciding whether it's worth gambling for the items shown. What I've done is I made sure I got my weapon and my settler's kit for the gear for the build that I wanted for the burn build, and then I gambled additional Starchrom to get fragments and unlock other weapons and armor that I might want to try again in the future. When it comes to upgrading and calibration of your blueprints, press I, go into your blueprints here. I've got armor blueprints. And what I'm wearing is the sheltered hood, and as you can see I've got 3 stars there. They start off with, and it started off with just a 1 star like these other hats here. If you right click it, and here you've got the details and the enhancement, and then this little plus button, and here are the fragments that you would have picked up from looting crates or in the wish machine. And if you select enough of these, I can't quite do it, and you get 1,500. I can make that go from 3 stars to 4 stars. The importance of this is every time it goes up a star, it boosts the base stats, which then of course as you go up each of the tiers, I'll give you a bit of an example here. Although you've got blue to purple, just got the 1 star there, damage 182, fire rate 600, mag 40, and the one I've upgraded to 4 star, base damage 238, quite a jump. And that is just for the 1 star. If I actually crafted this, which I have here, but I've also calibrated it up to 8, you can see that that's 338 base damage. So it jumps up a considerable amount. But it's always worthwhile doing your rifts and then looking for the mystery crates for fragments. And when you've got enough Starchrom, making a wish at your wish machine can also yield some extra fragments for you. And the great news is you won't be wasting your time with this, because any blueprints that you have upgraded, they carry over to the next seasons. When you want to craft the better armor for bosses or dungeons, and you want to go with the AP stuff, instead of just crafting with the default, now this is okay for me because targets affected by Born of Frost Vortex will take extra damage. I'm a burn build, so this is ideal. However, if you click here where you can replace it for other items, gunpowder, it just increases the damage per shot, but platinum crystal will give you 25% when you're in fast gunner for a fast gunner builds, electronic parts for the shrapnel and the bounce and the bullseye, and gold ore will be for the shock or unstable bomber. To boost your damage even more, make sure to check out certain foods that also have this feature where you can swap different items out. You've got canned meat here. This is great for frost builds, which are very good for crowd control and damage, and pretty much any meat will do the job. And the assorted canned fruit, you can use this to increase the weak spot damage by 25%. Extremely good for a sniper build, no doubt. If you're struggling on any of the content, either the pro dungeons or the end game, then what you can do is team up with other people. If you press U, you've got like a looking for group here. You can either create a team yourself, and here if you toggle, say there's a particular silo you want to do and you're struggling with it, you can go down each one or look for a particular one you might be after. There we go, securement silo PSI on pro mode. There's already a team there. You can click to apply and team up with those and have a much easier time in getting that done. I'll see you soon, and take it easy.